Welcome to Perdido Key Gaming. All right, we're back to doing some other than Magic the Gathering games and stuff. And I think I mentioned this one in a previous video, but this was a pretty hilarious, another West End game, role-playing game. And Paranoia. This is second edition. The first edition, don't remember whether. But anyway, played it several times. It's extremely an extremely funny game. You absolutely, positively have to have a really serious game master, and I'm just kidding. You want a game master who's just plain warped and everything like that. The players should be as well. But yeah, this was another Greg Kostikian game. It's a role-playing game, pretty simple. It's skill-based. The players are playing clones who are troubleshooters, meaning they go out and do stuff for their bosses. They start way down at the bottom as infrareds and slowly make their way up to, hopefully somebody who's, important. Well, the higher ranking you are, the more devious and just generally clueless you are. I mean, it should make sense these days, right? But, yeah, they start with a little example, of people, having a little game here, and nobody has any idea. They're all inside in a little, futuristic dome city underground or somewhere like that. Have no idea what the outside looks like. Like I said, it's all based on, skills. You have your usual attributes. You have skills, agility skills, mechanical skills, chutzpah skills, you're heavily armed for the most part, and you're dangerous, and pretty much you're clueless, and you're paranoid, as it were, because the computer which rules the your particular dome city or whatever underground city is devious as well. And it goes by the rules, and the rules are really stupid, and which should make sense these days in real life as well, right? So, they have a little solitary adventure. They tell you how the skills work. Basically, you're trying to roll on a 20-sided die. You're trying to roll less than or equal to your skill rating, and then you succeed. And like any of the games, you shouldn't roll for everything. Some of the stuff that makes sense is, don't roll for it. But bootlicking is the primary survival skill in Alpha Complex. That's the kind of thing it is. It's in general, the player section's pretty short. Game mastering, they give a little history about Alpha Complex and just exactly, what's really going on. May 4th, 2097, planetoid about the size of Sheboygan, which I think is where Kostikian was from, Sheboygan, because he did a couple of his early games were like, little board games, the creature they ate, Sheboygan, and stuff like that. So I think that's where he was from. But anyway, an asteroid impacted the Earth, and millions fled underground. Gives a whole bunch of stuff about the, you start out at infrared. You got security clearances, which supposedly let you know, give you more information as you get a higher level. But like I said, the more you get, probably the stupider you are. So there's service groups. People belong to service groups. People also belong to secret societies. Everybody belongs to secret society, but it's illegal to belong to the secret society, So it adds another level of the paranoia because you just don't want to be found out because you'll be terminated immediately, right? I think the other thing is that everybody's got some sort of mutant power. So, and mutants are frowned upon. So, but everybody's got a mutant power. So that's one of the funnier thing too. You know, secret society, the you know, communists are not being so secret these days. Free enterprise, humanists, the Frankenstein destroyers, First Church of Christ, the computer programmer. You know, there's bennies and what they call slaps, which are, you know, obvious. But, you know, how to use rules, how to use the attributes, the skills, what to do as a game master. One of the things is the crazier your players are, the more experience points or whatever you know you can give them. You should give them, because if they're crazy and just full of chutzpah, then you know that's the best way to do it. Combat, you know, combat's pretty straightforward. You hit, you damage. For the most part, a single hit will kill you. So then, since you're a family of clones, they bring in your you know your clone mate to take your place. You know. So, you know, you don't always, you know, you're not dead, you know, but you get hit locations, and of course, you know, when they get hit locations, you should make it as funny as possible what happens. Sort of like some of the critical hits in Rollmaster are pretty funny, so. But you use your powers, you know, try not to get caught. A whole section of non-combat perils, because if your game master is evil enough, then you're going to be dying from all sorts of stuff, you know, drowning, you know, anything like that. They got a whole thing on equipment. So you got your standard lasers, cone rifles, Gauss guns, grenades. You got robots, which of course are not going to be competent robots, of course, you know. Why have competent robots? Comms, multi-quarters, vehicles, and all sorts of stuff. And they had a bunch of adventures. I think I didn't get too many of the pre-made adventures because it was just more fun to, you know, make something up and, you know, keep it short, keep it sweet. Because the game system is pretty simple, you didn't want to make anything you know, overbrew something, you know. But you know, first edition, they, you know, explain first edition versus, you know, second edition and everything. Like, ooh, that thing's coming apart. Look at that. That's how old this thing is. I can't remember exactly when this came out. Was it 1983? Let's say it was 1983. 1984, 1987 was second edition. So they do give you a adventure, you know, security clearance, really ultraviolet. Whoever reads this is ruining his enjoyment of the game, you know. But it's called Into the Outdoors with Gun and Camera, giant, you know, mutant roaches, things like that. But yeah, that's, you know, you get a briefing, episode 1 briefing. Of course, you know, you're going to be definitely paranoid at the start of the adventure, and if your game master is good enough, you'll be, you know, killed a couple of times, you know, depending on how devious you are. But more devious and the more funny you are, the better off you are. Yeah, and then, you know, they give you the whole thing about the, you know, the adventure, you know, standard stuff. Skill summaries, you know, tells you about the, you know, you can hand the foldouts to people, make copies of them, I imagine. You got your treason, you know, you're gaining treason point. Next thing you know, to reduce your treason, you might execute a traitor, or somebody turning a traitor over, unmasking traitors who's executed by somebody. So, you know, you're always trying to prove that the other guy, including some of the people playing with you, is a traitor, just so you can reduce your, you know, treason level. But so, anyway, but that's yeah, that's basically it. You know, they don't have potions. They have auto hypodermic doses and stuff like that. Sleepy time, combat quick, antibiotics, B complex vitamins. They got a whole thing, your termination voucher. You know, it's pretty funny. But yeah, that's about it for Paranoia. It was, you know, extremely fun to play. I think I played it like 6 or 7 times with an old, you know, a friend of mine back in the 80s, with my brother, and I think my sister might have played too, but, you know, all sorts of crazy people. But it was a really fun game. So if you can find a copy, you know, pick one up. I really wish there was kind of a computer role-playing game for this. It might be, you know, pretty funny, but I don't know if, you know, a computer RPG AI could be as devious as an actual human being. So anyway, that's it for Paranoia, 2nd edition, West End Games, another product of Greg Stoichian from Sheboygan, and a few other people, of course, Gilbert Rolston, Murphy, and Goldberg. But that's about it. Oh, they had some more stuff here, you know, a guide for the computer elite, complete troubleshooter. Anyway, so that's it. Please hit like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you played Paranoia before, or if you know anything about whether or not there's any other stuff out there. I really haven't seen Paranoia in a while. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, but we'll see you later on, and hope your weekend goes well.